Hello, how are you? It's the Leaky Bottle here. Now, you might look at the title of this video and think, well, this topic seems interesting, but at the same time, you may not be surprised that there's only one case in the history of mankind where every single country in the world came together. And guess what? They agreed on something, and that's because mankind just doesn't seem to like one another. It's an absolute load of crap, but that doesn't make it any less true. Now, for centuries if not millennia, the fight amongst mankind over territory has long been documented throughout the course of history. Countries who were once happy neighbours then became enemies, then became friends again, and then became enemies. And it came down to one reason every single time. They wanted each other's land, their territory. It's like, hey, we have a massive big piece of land known as a country, but we want yours too, so give it to us or we'll beat you up with dangerous weapons and take your lunch money. Now, World War I and II definitely take the centre point as examples of mass conflict. I mean, who's going to forget that psychopathic speed addict Adolf Hitler, who after a few beers one night came along and said, you know what we should do? We should just kill all the Jews and it will solve all the problems. What? I'm joking. However, it doesn't mean that there was not hundreds of other wars that contributed to shaping the world as it is today. We had the American Revolution, the Napoleonic Wars, the Chinese Civil Wars, the Korean War that resulted in the most isolated cut-off country to ever exist in North Korea with Kim Il Rocket Boy, and what this has done in today's age is establish something I'd call neighbouring toleration, especially between countries who were once at war. It's kind of like, okay, we don't not like you, but we'll put up with you. And that's kind of been the situation with a lot of countries. Throw in a few peace treaties and friendship meetings between leaders of countries, and there's not been much conflict between any of the superpowers anyway, until Russia went and ruined it all by starting another war. However, the title of this video is exactly as it reads: the one and only time every single country in the world ever agreed on something. So when was the one and only time every country in the world agreed on something, and why is it such a big deal? Well, in case you are unaware, there are officially 195 countries that exist in the world today, all with their own governing policies, beliefs and practices, which means it's not exactly going to be super easy to agree on anything really, but agree they did, every single one of them. And what did they agree about, you might ask, as you sit there on your phone binging the YouTube platform? Well, they all agreed that there's no way in hell Maggie Simpson could have shot Mr. Burns like she's a baby. How does she even lift a gun? No, it's actually a treaty known as the Montreal Protocol. So, why is this Montreal Protocol so important? And what is it all about? Well, humans haven't been all that good at protecting the planet they live on. I mean, they're bloody terrible at it, and it's certainly shown over the last 150 years, if not longer. Disposing of our waste has always been an issue. We've tried dumping it, we've tried landfills, and we've even tried burning it, which would emit awful, toxic chemicals that are harmful to the atmosphere. But the issue is with everyday items like refrigerators, air conditioners, aerosol spray cans, which means deodorants, or 12-year-old me who couldn't leave the house without spraying a full can of Axe body spray all over my clothes from head to toe, thinking that I was gonna get a girlfriend waiting for me at the end of the estate. Now, these all emit a toxic chemical known as CFC, or chlorofluorocarbon. So basically you're harming the planet by trying to smell good for the woman you're cheating on your wife with. CFCs are so potent to the ozone layer in the stratosphere that in the space of 7 years, between 1980 and 1987, the hole in the ozone layer was approaching what scientists believe was irreparable damage, which makes us as humans a shower of bastards. So why is the ozone layer so important? Well, the ozone layer protects the planet and us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. You most likely knew that. It's something most of us learn early on in school. Without it, we'd be completely exposed to the full extent of the sun's power, which would severely damage the DNA of humans, animals and plants. Basically, we're absolutely screwed without it. So why is the Montreal Agreement so important? What does it actually do? What exactly is the Montreal Protocol? and is it still in effect today? The Montreal Protocol is so important because it stands as a remarkable milestone in global environmental governance. Established in 1987, the international agreement was designed to safeguard the Earth's ozone layer from the detrimental effects of ozone-depleting substances, ODS. The protocol's inception and subsequent success illustrate an extraordinary demonstration of international cooperation. Now, the growing scientific evidence in the 1970s and 1980s highlighted the harmful impact of ODS such as CFCs, as I was speaking about, and HCFCs, which is like CFC's older brother, on the ozone layer. The discovery of the Antarctic zone hole served as a wake-up call for the international community. Basically, a bunch of scientists came along and realised what was happening and was like, okay, so we're absolutely fucked if the lads keep dousing the Old Spice deodorant 12 times a day and tell Betty Crocker to turn our fucking fridge off. But in all seriousness, policymakers recognised the pressing need to address the issue promptly, leading to discussions and negotiations that culminated in the Montreal Protocol. Now, the protocol emerged as a result of extensive negotiations and collaboration amongst many nations. Representatives from numerous countries convened to address the issue of ODS. Now, nobody would let North Korea join the pact unless they could tickle Kim Jong-il on his belly. The diplomatic efforts and technical expertise of scientists, policymakers, and environmental activists were crucial in formulating a consensus on the actions needed to protect the ozone layer. The United Nations Environmental Programme, the UNEP, played a pivotal role in facilitating these negotiations, leading to the successful adoption of the Montreal Protocol on September 16, 1987. The Montreal Protocol established a comprehensive framework to phase out the production and consumption of ODS. It set specific targets for each participating country to reduce the use of these substances. Now, the agreement also emphasised the need to develop and adopt environmentally friendly alternatives. Do you remember the old McDonald's styrofoam boxes that you get the Big Mac in? Massive producer of CFCs. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Ronald, you absolute prick. The phase-out schedule was based on scientific assessments, allowing for adjustments as new information became available. Now, this adaptive approach ensured that the protocol remained effective in addressing emerging concerns. The success of the Montreal Protocol is evident in its significant achievements. Now, since its implementation, global production and consumption of ODS have been reduced by, get this, a staggering 98%. Like, that's some achievement. I'd say the lads had a few lines in the bathroom celebrating that feat. This reduction has prevented substantial amounts of harmful chemicals from entering the atmosphere and damaging the ozone layer. So as a result, the ozone layer has begun to heal, leading to a decrease in the size of the Antarctic ozone hole. The protocol's impact extends beyond ozone layer protection, as it has also contributed to mitigating climate change, given that some ODS are potent greenhouse gases. The Montreal Protocol's positive effects extend to human health and the economy. By protecting the ozone layer, the protocol has prevented millions of cases of skin cancer, cataracts, and otherwise adverse health conditions caused by excessive UV radiation exposure. Sure, I'd still be hitting the sunbeds up anyway. Additionally, it has stimulated innovation and the development of alternative technologies, creating new economic opportunities and industries focused on sustainable solutions. The Montreal Protocol stands as a remarkable testament to the power of international cooperation in addressing global environmental changes. Its establishment and subsequent success in protecting the ozone layer exemplify the potential for collective action to achieve positive change. Through diplomatic negotiations, scientific collaboration, and a commitment to shared goals, nations came together to phase out ozone-depleting substances and protect the Earth's atmosphere. We basically stopped being pricks to each other in order to save the world. That's fucking Avengers shit right there. That's it, everyone. There you have it. The one fucking time in the history of man that we all got together and said, boys, do you know what would be great? Saving the world so we can keep exploiting it. Look, the channel is only new, and when I come across new channels with only one video or something, I'd be like, Ah, here, would you get fucked with your one video? I'm not subscribing. But lads, we all started on 0 subs. All the big channels started on 0. So throw us a like, throw us a subscribe. Remember, don't be a prick.